cast and the director of the newly named The Hat Machine. Hi. How's it going?
Great to be here.
It's really the Heart Machine. Let's clarify before we go any further. Good to see you again on the back lawn at South by Southwest. We saw you here last year.
Yeah, I was here last year with my film Short Term 12. Me and Brie Larson were out here. We had a great time.
It's a movie that no one ever talked about and didn't have any buzz whatsoever.
Died a quick and sudden death right after the festival.
No.
No, it did very well. It was really nice.
So the premise of this film, I know you wrote the film and directed it. Premise of this film, I love it because it's all about sort of like what young Hollywood is kind of about, and what people are all about. It's social media and sort of like the implications of what's happening in the world. And these two are dating, in love, but have never met. They've met online.
Right, yeah, exactly. They're in a relationship, but they meet over OkCupid, and the film follows what happens when John's character begins to suspect that Kate's character, who is ostensibly living in Berlin all this time, has actually secretly been living in New York right beside him since they began dating.
You ever heard of this app? It'll list people by proximity. You can meet people who want to hook up, like, right now.
Okay, so do all of you think that you could actually be in love with somebody you've never met?
Sure.
You do? So, like, do you think it's a realistic premise that you could actually fall in love with somebody via Skype and via sort of email and text and phone calls?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, definitely there's always room for the element of when you actually meet each other. But I think that sparks can fly in a variety of different,
but
over different
love,
mediums.
like deep, real, true.
Well, I don't know. The first time I feel like I fell in love was like, with movie stars when I was a kid, and let me tell you, it felt pretty real to me.
Okay, so we need to know.
Marissa Tomei was my first big crush.
Really?
I had a shrine on my wall, a bunch of pictures from movies. Untamed Heart, love that movie.
All right, who were your crushes growing up?
Oh, geez, my crushes growing up. That's one I haven't given a ton of thought to. I think that my first real crush was definitely probably Britney Spears, I guess. That was a pretty big one for me when that first album came out. I actually bought that album. That was.
Let's hear it. How did it go again?
Oh my goodness!
I'm sure do you know the moves too? Did you go in your room? Did you do the dance? And
I bought the album and I thought that it was totally not a big deal. That I just went to Tower Records and I was like, oh yeah, no, of course. Yeah. But what about you, Kate?
There were so many. Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman?
As bad boy persona.
There you go. I can relate to that.
That is actually true, but Edward Furlong in Terminator 2 that was pretty much, and Ethan Hawke in Reality Bites. That formed my entire...
Thank you. Do you know he's here this week?
No.
Yes.
Where?
I don't know. If I knew, you and I would be going, and yeah, I'm with you on that one. So do you think that a female perspective, that you could fall in love via, internet and...
Sure, I do.
It's realistic.
I believe so, yeah. I think it's so rare that you find a connection with anyone at all.
Right.
If you find one with somebody over the internet, that's great.
So did you too, when you were filming, because I know you meet at some point in the film, did you do the majority of the filming scenes apart first, or was it sort of scattered throughout? Was it sort of in chronological order?
Well, yeah, the filming was done based on location, so the film wasn't shot in chronological order. But we did save the scenes where John and Kate are together for the end of the film, just because we felt emotionally like it would be nice to sort of build to that crescendo, because all that does actually happen at the end of the film.
Does it help as an actor?
It was great, yeah. We built we built a very real rapport in person, like in between takes, just hanging out. We had a very good time making the film. But then when we were doing all of our scenes, we were separated by several stories because Kate was in another room and I was in a different room. We were doing the Skype scenes together. So when it got towards the end of shooting where we actually had to film stuff together, it was like, oh, how do we act now, when we're in 3 dimensions with each other. So I thought it was actually a very wise format.
So you were actually shooting the Skype scenes in real time, like you were each shooting simultaneously.
Right.
So it was real Skyping.
Right.
This is like real.
With all the perils of real Skyping, including fading internet connections. So.
Right. That's the best part, though. It's like when somebody's about to say something, and you're like, is he going to tell me he loves me? And it's like, well, thanks for chatting with us. Can I borrow your hat? See you on the plane on the way back.
See you in LAX.
I'll give it back then, I promise.